Hello and welcome to the Big Head Bookworm channel. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day wherever it is you are and whatever it is you are up to. My name is Louise and this is episode 6 of Yarn Chat. Normally on this channel I talk about my love of books and all things bookish. I talk about my TBRs, well not really, but I talk about things that I've read and things I want to read, and things I'm planning on reading and all things bookish, but then every so often it's coming out about once a month. I wish it was more regular, but it's coming out about once a month. Excuse me, runny nose. I talk about my love of knitting and stitching and crochet and wool and yarn, and I show you what I've been getting up to, and we have chats. We have chats about yarn, and that's what we do. That's what we do. We talk about yarn. So as I say, my name is Louise. I live just outside of Cambridge in the east of England in a very small village with my husband and our 9, nearly 10, nearly double figures, son Benedict, and our 3 cats. So we have a very good balance of human to feline ratio at the moment. We're 3 to 3. And actually, I was only realising today that we're 3 girls and 3 boys. 3 lady cats. Me and 2 girls. So yes, we're very balanced in this household. They are not into wool whatsoever. The cats are very much into wool, but the chaps are not. So my husband likes knitted things when I give them to him, and I have a completed masterpiece here, which is for him. But they have no interest really into knitting. So I can't talk about knitting and stitching and all that kind of stuff with them. I can only talk about it with you. I do have 1 or 2 friends that are into it, but not we don't seem to have regular chats. A friend and I get together kind of every couple of weeks and we sit and we talk about life, and both of us are knitting or crocheting. She's really good at crochet. So I do that, but I don't have many other people that I can sit down and regularly talk wool with. So I look forward to these videos where I can talk about it with you, and you don't know how much in a month I actually think, oh well, I'll tell them that, or I'll ask you know, the kind of the people that watch the yarn chat about that, or I wonder what they would say about that. And it's quite funny how I think about these things, and I think about sharing them with you. So even though it's a bit of a one-sided conversation, I do read all your comments and I do think about them and what have you. It has been a very busy time recently, and I'm going to do at the end I'm going to do kind of a life update thing. I'll find a groovy name for that. I can't think of one off the top of my head. So I will do kind of a bit more of an update at the end. But suffice to say, it's very busy recently because we're moving. So we moved this time last year. We've been in our current house 11 months and we're moving again. And it wasn't something that we planned, and I'm sure it will be a good thing. I'm sure we'll look back and we'll go, thank heavens we moved then. It just right at this moment feels like a lot, having not been a year in this house, to be moving again. So we've been looking for another house, and we found one. Unfortunately, not in this area. We're not having to move far, but we're moving far enough away that we've got to change everything. So we've moved a couple of times in the last 5-6 years, and it's been kind of round an area so that my son's school's not had to change. We've not had to change doctors or anything like that. You know, opticians, although that won't be able to stay the same. But, you know, the basics have not been able to change. But this move, we're having to move like 30 minutes away. And so we've got to change my son's school. That's the big thing, really. But we've got to change everything else as well. But my son's school's the biggie. So, it's been all of that, and it just is exhausting. Now, it's a week today we move. So I've come here to talk about, for a little bit of kind of sanity check-in, and also to say it's probably going to be another couple of weeks before I can sit down and talk to you again about yarn. Because it's a week today. I think I've booked the removers. And however much you think, you know, I've got weeks ahead, and I've been trying to book these removers for about, I think I first phoned them up a fortnight ago, and so it could have been sorted with like weeks to go, but it never is it? And it's just it's a bit like that. But we will get there, and it will be great, and it will be worthwhile, and we will look back, and I'll be able to show you a whole new house, a whole new area, and it will be fab. Once I'm on the other side of it, right at this moment, I'm at the bit where there's a lot of packing and sorting out and just so much to think about. So actually it has meant I've done quite a lot of knitting because it's been my brain kind of relaxation. So when I've kind of at the end of the day gone, I can't think about packing up boxes or where to go or what to do or all the things I have to do, lists. I've been able to turn my head to something like this, and I've spent hours watching all the updates on Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Have you been watching them as well? Have you gone down that rabbit hole? Oh my lord. Reason I've bought so much recently, I'm sure, is because everybody else went to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It wouldn't be my kind of thing. I've been watching it wishing it was my kind of thing to go to, but it wouldn't be. It would be too big. It would have too many people. It would be so full on, like kind of the energy of the yarn fumes and the energy would be far too much for me. I would last about 3 hours before I'd run screaming out, unless I did classes. So in the one way, I know it wouldn't be good for me, but at the same time, I've been watching everybody's vlogs and everybody's just amazing times that they had there. I thought, I'd love to go. And so I've kind of bought stuff because I couldn't go. I've probably hit my limit of stuff that I've bought, if I'm honest, because I've managed to get some really good stuff. So I'll show you all that. Anyway, let's get on, because already I've been chatting away. If you want to get in contact with me, I'd love to chat. Please leave comments. I might not be responding that quickly at the moment, just because of the move and what have you. If not, if you want to catch me on Instagram, I'm louise.stinson. I shall leave the details below, and that's the way I'm most active. I do read all the comments and I do chat on Instagram, so that's probably where you're going to catch me the most. And then if you follow me, then and tell me that you watch the yarn stuff, then I'll follow you, and we can talk wool and yarn and knitting and crochet and all of that goodness. So let's talk about things that I have finished recently. My finished masterpieces. And there have been some finished masterpieces. Oh yes, I've got two. Both of them I've been going for a little while, and I'm very pleased to get both of them off the needles. So this is, now I've not got great light. I have got my big light here, but it does tend to ever so slightly alter the colours of things. So, but there we go. That's not. It's more seed, but this is spousal socks for my husband, and I knit out of Reef Dive by Stranded Dye Works. It's her fjord based. It's 80/20 superwash BFL blue face Leicester and nylon fingering weight. As I say, it's called Reef Dive, so she can pop them in the wash. Can you see? It's got all the different colours in there. It's got little bits of pink, and I don't really like very variegated. What it's not doing is it's not showing up the yellow. Is that my hair that's stopping that? And my hair kind of stopping it. You can't see that it's more of a brighter green, this. It's more of a brighter green. No, it's just not big enough. It's an amazing colour, and my husband has just been chomping at the bit for me to finish them. But these have been my going out socks, so this is when I've been going places and I fancied taking some knitting. I have just taken these, so I have barely knit on them in the house. So they've taken months to do, and he's been really like kind of, have you finished my sock? Have you finished my sock? And I've been like, no. No. And they're huge as well, because they're boy socks. I did them slightly longer. My husband likes quite a long leg. I may have done them slightly too long in the leg, but then he's got kind of, bloke's feet, so they're quite long. I do 72 stitch And this time I've used a 2.25mm DPNs. So I use DPNs and I do 2x2 rib, heel flap and gusset, Kitchener toe, rounded toe, decrease every other. It's a proper vanilla sock. And I've come down. Normally I have been doing 2.5, but I did 2.25 on these, and I have to say the stitch has come out beautifully. Look at that. Stitch definition is scrumptious. So I am very pleased with them, and I shall pass them to him. And he knew I finished them, and he was like, "Can I put those socks on now? Are those my socks yet?" And I was like, "No, I've got to show the people that watch the yarn chat first." And he was like, "Well, are they not for me?" And I was thinking, yes, but they're not for you until I hand them to you, so you'll have to wait. So anyway, and actually his birthday on Monday, so I could wait until his birthday, but I won't. I shall give them to him. I'm actually folding them now to give to him when he comes home from work today. It's going to be too warm, I reckon, to wear them, but he'll have them, and he's wanted them, and he's been wanting to wear them. So it'll be interesting to see how he feels about them, in the fact that they are 2.25, but I really like them. So there we go. So that's my first finished masterpiece, a pair of vanilla socks. But I really enjoyed it. Beautiful yarn to use. If ever you get a chance of using Stranded Dye Works Fjord, I completely recommend it. It's been lovely to use, and the colours, that's all I've got left. I had it nicely in a wrapped ball, and one of my cats found it, and that's all I've got left. The colours are gorgeous, and I would love to have enough of this to actually make a garment out of, like kind of a basic cardigan or something like that, or even a tank top. I know, not trendy, but I would love it anyway, because the colours in this is just gorgeous. So it's reef dive, and so yes, if you get a chance to use that, I highly recommend it. So there we go. So that's finished masterpiece number 1, and I'm actually wearing finished masterpiece number 2. Now you can't really see it. This cut, so there we are. If I do that, you get to see the colour. There we go. It is deep purple. So this is the Mix and Match cardigan by the Knitting Expat, Mina Phillips, and I have done the stockinette version in this, which is similar. It's BC Garn is the yarn company, is the make, and it's similar, and it's as you can see, it says 100% organic wool, and the colour is, well, it's deep purple. And it is actually deeper than I expected. When I ordered it in, on the internet, I ordered it in from Loop, London, which is a London yarn shop, very well known, and they have a very good internet presence as well. And it was, on the screen, it looked ever so slightly lighter than this. However, since getting it, it completely matches a lot of my stuff that I've got anyway, so I'm very pleased. Now, I can't really show it to you, but let me tell you, it is just a basic cardigan, and as you can see, it's just a cardigan, really. I didn't do the shawl collar. I did the flat collar. Oh, can't compare. I did the flat collar. Again, it's quite difficult to see, so it's just got some ribbing down here. It's got some decreases here and separation for the arms. I had a difficulty in the fact that when I ordered the yarn, there was one ball that was even though it was the same dye lot, apparently, it was ever so slightly different. And I've used it for the cuffs and the hem and the ball band, and you can't tell. I think in some light, in natural light, you might be able to tell, but I think it's only if you would know. but it looks slightly different anyway because that's the ribbing and it's the only ribbing on here. I used, looking at my swatches, you're supposed to use 4mm needles, and this was my swatch for 4mm needles, and I didn't get gauge. I needed to go up to 4.5. I actually prefer the look of the fabric on 4. There you go. But gauge wise, 4.5 is perfect. Now I bought this yarn because I watched Tracy from Nora George on her podcast, which is called Crafts from the Third Floor, and she did a test knit for this, and she did a cardigan for her mum, and she used this wool, and she said it knitted up beautifully. It was very soft, and that it kind of didn't need as much yarn. It worked well, and I have to say, from having tried this, I completely agree. I didn't get the full amount. I think I was supposed to get, so I did size large, and I didn't buy, I think I bought 9 balls of 500, so that's 50 grams, and I should have bought 12, but from what she said, I thought, I'm not going to need that. And I'm really glad I did. I didn't want an oversized cardigan. I wanted a little cardigan that I could slip on. And I have a cardigan that's like that. And I basically wanted to replicate that, but in wool. Now this is DK, and that is it's a bought one, but it's almost like a fingering weight. It's a thin wool. But even having done that, this has grown actually. I blocked it yesterday, and I have to say it has grown a bit. I think it will, once it relaxes, it won't be quite so big on me. I'm tall, so I've got long arms and long body and what have you. So I did increase. I did do longer than she suggests. But I'm very pleased with it. It's perfect. I haven't put my buttons on yet. I've done my buttonholes. You can't really see, can you? This is the thing about doing something dark. You can't really see. And I haven't got great light today. I did my buttonholes, but I haven't put my buttons on yet because I haven't bought my buttons. I wanted to finish it and see what size I needed, and then I would go and get it. So at the moment, it hasn't got any buttons on, but I'm all right about that. But then that's it, you see. I can't really, if I move, it is literally just a plain, it's a plain cardigan. It's blocked out slightly longer than I wanted, and I'm hoping that when it kind of dries, I didn't actually want a really long cardigan, so this has actually come out slightly longer than I'd expected, even though I was trying it on. It has kind of gone slightly bigger and more oversized than I'd expected. However, it's keeping me toasty. In fact, I'm probably going to have to take it off. Probably going to have to take it off. But for wool, it is really reasonably priced. My hair has already gone on it. It's really reasonably priced. Can I show you it? No. And it's just a cardigan. It was £6.50 per 50 grams. £6.50 per 50 grams. And as I say, I bought 9 balls. It's going to be super warm. My plan is for it to almost be kind of like in summer when you're just wearing a cardigan and it gets chilly. You just want to put something on. I'm hoping that this isn't going to be too warm. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to wear it then. Yeah. So anyway, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. I'm out and about this weekend, and it's supposed to be warm, but I'm out and about a lot. And maybe I'll be outside a lot because I'm going to see my tribe, my circle. We're spending time together, and which is something I look forward to all the time. I can't seem to work out what the other arm is. Hello. It's not that difficult. So I may take it so I can wear it there even without its buttons on. So yeah, so but I've sewn in all the ends and everything like that, so it's completely ready. So there we go, super soft, it's lovely. That is my cardigan. So that's the first garment I've knitted in quite a few years. I've done smaller things and I've done crochet things. I haven't completed a knitted garment in quite a few years. So I am super pleased with that. So that's 2, so socks and a cardigan. So as you can see, the cardigan is, as I say, it's the Mix and Match cardigan by Mina Phillips. You can do either a textured one, textured style, or stockingette. I just did stockingette. I used, as I say, 4.5 circular needles. I used my high sharps. Love, just was like pure gorgeousness. What did I learn from it? So that you might learn from it as well. I learned that I need to try magic loop. I really enjoyed the sleeves, but I didn't magic loop them because I don't really do magic loop. I just use DPNs, higher sharp DPNs actually, which I've got behind me. Let me get them. Yeah. So I used these, a bit glary. These are my 4.5. Yeah, so these are 6-inch, so they're slightly smaller. So on the sleeves, I was using all 5 needles. When normally when I'm doing a sock, I only ever use 4 needles, but I actually used all 5. And they're nice and pointy. I really like them. I found them really good. However, I think I need to get confident and I just need to give magic loop a go. I know how to do it. I just keep going back to DPNs because it's what I'm used to. So I need to pull myself together and do magic loop. I reckon the arms would have been even easier than they were, although they were pretty easy. Anything else? Oh, I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off for the button band because that's what it recommended, and it recommended it for the hem, and I didn't do it. I did my usual cast off, and I regret that. I should. So next time when I do something like that, I will use Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off or another bind off that is stretchy because the ribbing is a bit tight. Oh, on the arms, I forgot to decrease for the cuffs, for the cuff ribbing, and I did those at the same. I did those at 4.5 instead of going down to 4mm, and I like that. So that was something I learned that I will do in future. I like the way that fits on my arm, even though I have got narrow wrists. I like the way that it doesn't go in, it just kind of merges or even puffs out a tiny bit. So that to me was a win, and it was a mistake, but it was a winning mistake. So I was like, yeah, you go girl. After initial going, oh, I thought I'm not ribbing it back. And then I thought it's fine. so yeah, so that's what I've done. So those are my finishing masterpieces. Have I finished anything else? No, I haven't. Well, I finished this, but this is only kind of just a play thing. I was playing at crochet because I just wanted something else, and I wanted something that wasn't going to take me very long to do, and so I followed a pattern, a video pattern, a kind of a YouTube tutorial on this crocheted Afghan square, and I can't remember what this is called. It's something like Victorian lattice, but it's really enjoyable. Eats up yarn. I mean, very quick, and once you know the rhythm, you can fly through it. So there we are. But my word, does that eat up yarn? I think you'd probably think, oh, it won't be too much. You know, I'll be able to whip out a couple of those from a 50-gram ball. I think you'd be surprised at how much yarn it actually takes. But I thought it was really enjoyable, really a nice, easy, impressive looking Afghan square, and it made me think that. So, well, this is going to go on to masterpieces in progress. What I'm currently working on. So we've got a friend who's got. I was talking about in a previous episode how I've got a couple of friends who are going to have a baby. Not together. Well, they are, but there's more than one girl. There's more than one lady I know that is currently pregnant. And actually both of them are close to, due date. In fact, I think one is got to be due now, and it's her 4th. And that tends to cut, and she's sooner rather than later kind of a girl anyway. So she's coming up. Anyway, and she knows she's having a girl. So I decided I was going to do a blanket, and I was going to do a blanket and a toy, but I thought, no, I'll just do a blanket, because her last baby, who's a lovely little lad, I did him a knitted giraffe. So this time I thought, crochet giraffe, sorry. So this time I thought, well, I'll do a crochet blanket. So what shall I do? So I was kind of playing with different kind of what I should crochet. And so I did think about doing one of these. And actually, on reflection, I think the next baby that's imminent might well get a baby blanket made of these. I went up a hook size. I think I did this in 5mm, and you could easily do it in 4. And I think if you did it in 4, it wouldn't be quite so floppy. It'd be slightly denser material, and I think it would work well as a baby blanket. Anyway, so I was playing. So I bought some material. So I bought some wool. It's not in there, it's in here. Bought some wool. Would you like to see it? Not expensive, but oh so soft. It's acrylic and polyamide. Now, the reason I did that and didn't go and get super expensive wool is A, that would be super expensive, and B, for a baby, I want it to be machine washable. I want it to be no nonsense machine washable. So I went to Hobbycraft, which is one of our big craft chains, or the big craft chain, and I got Hey Baby, which is by Knitcraft by Hobbycraft. Hey Baby. And I got, this is DK weight, 50 grams. I got white, I got grey, and this is a really dreamy, soft dove grey. And I got pink. Well, this is actually, in person, is a lot more of a baby pink. So I got these 3, and I also got the purple as well. So I wasn't sure what combination I'm going to do, but I've actually ended up doing that. So it is 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide. It is very machine washable, very easy to use, and oh, so soft because it's for babies. It's lovely. So I was playing as to what to do, and in the end, I've gone back to one of my old favourites. I must have done about 3 or 4 baby blankets in this, and it is just the neat ripple. But I can do it. I find it very comforting, and I can do it, and it produces a lovely fabric. There we go. That is my baby blanket that I'm doing. Now, I realised after doing about 7 or 8 rows, I have done it longer than I normally have done, because when I was doing the setting chain, doing the foundation chain, you do it in multiples of 14. And I think I just kind of went 140, 154. I just kind of was going, and then you add 3 for your turning chain. And I think I just kept going. So I am probably about quarter bigger than I normally do. So I normally produce a rectangle, and I thought, I'm not ripping back. So I'm going to do a square. The baby won't know, but it's normally a rectangle. And so it will be a nice big square. I'm about halfway. About halfway. I will then put a border on it, and if I have time, I will applique a bunny rabbit or a little thing here. Because I've got lots of applique. I've got lots of material that I could just applique a little creature on. A little woodland creature of some kind, no doubt, for the lovely little girl that's going to come into the world. So there we go. So that's my crochet blanket. It's lovely. It's sheer pleasure to work on. And I have it on my lap, and I just bumble along, and oh, it's just so nice. There we are. That's it, kind of. Yeah, so I'm about a quarter bigger than I normally am. But it'll be lovely. Look at that. Oh, it's scrumptious. So soft. Oh, so soft. You just want to snuggle in it, which is why it's right for babies, because babies want to snuggle in it. So I'm imagining on summer days it will be spread out on the grass with a little girl. Oh, no, lovely. Anyway, so I bought three grey, 3 white, 2 pink, 2 purple, because I didn't know what I was going to do, and I've had to go back and get another 2 grey, another 2 white, another 2 pink, I think. So, but I've got enough now, I'm sure. I might edge it in white and purple or grey and purple, depending on what I've got left. I'm going to work with what I've got left now, and I do actually need to get a bit of a hoofty on, because I want to give the present in the first month. So it doesn't matter if it's not ready for when the baby's born, but I want it to be ready for the first month. So at some point in the first month, I will be able to hand that over. So that's a lovely, relaxing thing to work on whilst it's all been stressy, because I don't have to think about it. It's very soothing. The ripples are very soothing to work on. So it's been really enjoyable. It's the Neat Ripple pattern by Lucy from Attic 24. Her blanket, the other blanket that she's doing, which I have been working on, which is the woodland blanket, I haven't touched. I think I did an extra 2 rows. I'm looking at it an extra 2 rows from speaking to you. I then suddenly thought, I need to crack on with this other crochet for the baby, otherwise it's not going to be done in time. So I put that away and have been concentrating on that. So that's what I've been doing. And I wanted to finish the socks, and I wanted to finish the cardigan, and that kind of thing. Anyway, let me show you the other thing that I am currently working on, and I need to show you some gorgeous yarn that I treated myself to. I need to show you quite a bit of gorgeous yarn that I treated myself to. So I have previously bought and used some beehive yarns. So I do follow her, Beth, on Instagram, where I think she's Beehive Yarns on Instagram. And I do follow her, and I just love her colour palette and just her sensibility and her kind of style. And she does love her 60s look and her beehives. I think I've got too much hair for a beehive. Let's be honest. Just too much there. But anyway, so this is a very special colour. Oh, I don't know how good it's coming out, but oh, isn't that beautiful? Completely my kind of colour scheme as well. This is for the Flower Power Fund. Now, this has been arranged by, I don't know who, I can't remember who's organising it, but 12 dyers have agreed to each do a month where they would produce a special dye lot, or a special yarn dyed in honour of Flower Power to raise money for Macmillan, I think. So the Macmillan, the Macmillan nurses and the Macmillan Trust, they are end of life cancer. Well, not always end of life, but they are there for people that are going through cancer and or have been affected by cancer. And so if you get a diagnosis, or somebody in your family gets a diagnosis of cancer, you can phone up Macmillan, which is a charitable trust throughout the whole of the UK, and talk to them. And they are just brilliant. And my mum died of cancer last year, and so we did have quite a lot to do with the Macmillan nurses at one point and the Macmillan Trust, and they are just amazing, absolutely amazing. The ethos behind it and everything is just so wonderful. Anyway, obviously whoever it is that started this up has also been so inspired. So I have been watching to see who's producing yarn each month, because I thought at some point I'm going to buy some, even though they're kind of indie dyed yarns, and so I'm not going to buy a lot because they're quite pricey, but I do want to support the what the dyes are doing, because I just think it's amazing. So Beth from Beehive Yarns was March, and she did this one. She did two. She did this has actually got the wrong name on it, so I can't remember. Cuckoo Flower. This is Cuckoo Flower. She did another one called Vintage Daffodil, which is yellowy. I didn't want that one, but I've actually got the tag on this. It does actually say Vintage Daffodil, but it's not Vintage Daffodil. It's Cuckoo Flower. So I bought 2 skeins of this gorgeous thing on her Bardo base. So stylish. Which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And it is just scrumdiddly scrumptious, and it's pinks and purple and look deep. Now, I'm not a majorly speckly person, but I have to say she is just a wizard with what she does with dyes. So I got 2 skeins. Now, the skeins, it looks like it's not. So this is it balled up, and I decided to do it last night. I didn't have any knitting on the needles. Crochet I've got on the hooks, but I didn't have any knitting on the needles because I'd finished my cardigan, I'd finished my socks. So I started, and I've been really fancying a shawl. I really have been fancying doing a shawl. So I started this last night. So it's, at the moment, it's just looking like a kind of a thong, or I've knit myself a thong. I'm not going to wear it as a thong. With those holes, be a bit drafty. Not suitable. Not suitable. It's all right. The husband doesn't watch. So there we go. So that's what I've knit, and this is, I'm going to have to look it up. I only chose. You're going to have to just talk about it amongst yourself. I haven't printed out the pattern, and normally I do. It's the Paris Toujours by, come here, by Isabel Kramer. There we go. Sorry, I was a bit close to you there, but I'm looking down on my phone. So it's Paris Toujours. And so it came out. The pattern came out in 2015. So it's not a new trendy pattern at all. But it's kind of just what I like. It's can you see it? Can you see that? It's kind of big and glorious. And I wanted a no nonsense, no fancy, a little bit of detail, but nothing too much pattern, because I wanted it to be kind of comforting at the moment, what with all the move and what have you. And so yeah, so it's got hardly any instructions. So you do, after the setup section, which is down there, you do garter and then lace panels, and that's what it is. It also seems to kind of encourage you to go a bit off piece. So it tells you how many rows of garter you should do, the garter pattern, and how many of the lace pattern you should do. But then it says, well, if you want to increase or decrease the garter, or you want to increase or decrease the lace, fill your boots kind of thing. It's very much kind of, I've given you the basics, I've given you the tools, you do what you want to do. And I am going to knit the whole of this. Now, I knit quite tightly. I think it's because I do English style. And somebody has said Teresa on Instagram said, could I actually show you how I knit, my style of knitting, because I do English style. And at some point I will, not in this one, Teresa, but yes, I will. I will do something where I'm knitting, so you can actually see how I knit. This wouldn't be a good one to do it in. I'll do something. I'll find something that I can show you my knitting style. So I wanted, because I knit quite tight, and I wonder whether it's because I do English style, so I throw, that I am quite tight as a knitter. I didn't realise I was, but I am. I know. So that's easy, isn't it? Still looks like a thong. So I quite often, when these patterns are saying use 2 skeins, I'm not even I'm kind of, it always just seems to be coming out smaller, and I want a really big, fulsome shawl. I don't want a little piddly one. So I am going to just knit the whole of these 2 skeins. Now, from the pattern, it says I should use all of these skeins. I should even be thinking I'm going to run out. And if that's the case, I am going to contact Beth from Beehive Yarns about her semi-tonals and tonals, because I'm going to ask what one will go with this, like the deeper purple, because she will actually dye to order. I know, she's amazing. And she will dye to order on the Bardo base, on various bases, but on the Bardo base. So I'm going to ask her could she tell me which of the tonals would go with this? You know, is it the purple, or, you know, a darker purple? Actually, one of the dark, kind of the medium purple would be the medium pinky purple there would be lovely. Because you do, at the end of the shawl, you kind of do a lot of garter. Yeah. So that's what I kind of thought. But look at that. The husband was looking at the colour last night going, that is just gorgeous. And I was like, isn't it? And it does suit me. This colour does suit me, doesn't it? So there we go, she says. Luckily, I can't hear you if you're saying, no. If you are saying that, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, pet. So yeah, so I got this. I was so pleased. So I had seen pictures of it on the internet, and then it came. And I was so chuffed. It's even nicer in person. If you want to come round, you're welcome to have a look at it. And that was the other thing that I got in it. They all send really nice little teas, don't they? So this is a Clipper Bang of organic wild berry infusion. So at some point, maybe tonight, I will I will use that. I've actually gone up a needle size as well. I'm using my higher sharps, as you can see, and I'm using 4.5 rather than 4. No, I lied. I'm using 4 instead of 3.75 because I thought, no, I'm going to go up. I'm going to make it looser and more airy, and then it looks a lovely pattern, and if necessary, I can make it again on a different one. So let's move on to other little things that have come in. I didn't go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and so I bought myself some things to make me feel better. Purchases. Oh, excuse me, I've been caught. So another person that I follow on Instagram is Gamer Crafting. Now, Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful knitted something from Gamer Crafting, and my boy Benedict, my boy Lollipop, makes my heart go billy bop, might well cut that out. Is an absolute gamer. He absolutely loves gaming. So I thought, oh, I'll have a look to see whether they do what they do. And she does some brilliant game inspired dyeing. So that's Gamer Crafting. Gamer Crafting. So I went and had a little look, and she did some dyeing. And I saw this, and I thought, that is gorgeous. So this was right in my, everybody's gone to Edinburgh Yarn Festival and I haven't. That is just scrumptious. Now that is not actually black, it's green. It's deep green, which is not coming up. That's a deep green. Oh, it's gorgeous. It is Practical Magic. I know, how cool is that? Practical Magic it is. And it is 75% merino, 25% nylon. So it's perfect sock stuff. Now, I have treated myself, and I really did treat myself. A brilliant price point as well. For indie dye, it's a good one. Because, I mean, it can be super pricey, can't it? Understandably so, because the amount of time that it takes to do it and skill and what have you, I'm not you know, kind of saying, it's overpriced. I'm just saying it's out of my budget most of the time. I bought myself 3. And I bought myself 3 to make myself a big shawl. But now I've kind of got enough. I'm wondering whether I could kind of do a kind of a crocheted lightweight lace cardigan thingy, because that would be lovely in that. Oh, but some speckled does not look good in crochet. So I was talking to my chum about this. The girl who's really good, the lady who's really good at crochet, she'd bought some stuff, bought some fancy yarn and crocheted, and then she was saying to me, it just didn't look good. And I was like, no, that's the thing, isn't it? I'm just like moving my chair forward. that's the thing, isn't it? You think, oh, it's going to be great and what have you, but when you crochet it up, because of the way the stitches work, it doesn't show the beautiful yarn, or it muddies it in some ways. Some yarn, some speckled yarn, or very variegated or very tonal, I suppose, multicoloured, actually looks better knitted than it does crocheted. So you've got to be a bit careful with that. So it might be something that I try and see. But God, the colours, gorgeous. Love purple, i.e. I've just made an enormous cardigan out of purple, and you can see the kind of colours. I'm in a real pink and purple. Pinks, purples and blues and greens. Those are my colours. I don't really tend to use yellows or oranges, and that's because of my colouring. Yellows with this colour hair. No. So I also, they're not in there, I've moved it. I did a little bit of purchasing from Crafty Cat. Crafty Cat Knitty Bits. Again, Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful. I'm basically blaming her for all of this. She was showing some stitch markers, or showing something that she'd bought from Crafty Cat Knitty Bits, and so I got some stitch markers. How do you know that? Because it says it. And it is Sugar Skulls. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sugar Skull stitch markers, and then one little pearlescent pearl drop. Again, superb price point for such a groovy thing. They really are gorgeous. They're in fact all different Sugar Skulls as well, which you can't really show. So they're lovely. So I will use these as stitch markers. So the stitch markers you use to denote either an increase or a decrease section, or in crochet to show the beginning of a round, or when you need to go back to something. So that's why it's useful to have them. They are quite large, so it's going to have to be a more sturdy piece. I tried them on the shawl I had just started, my Paris Toujours shawl, and they were slightly pulling on it. So even though they are quite light, they're quite large. So when it's bigger, they might work. So I bought those again, and it came lovely, beautifully packaged. She does a beautiful job. So that was fabulous. What else have I got? So 2 more things to show you, 3 more things to show you. This is a real quick one. I picked up this. This is Inside Crochet. I don't often use Inside Crochet, but it's got Sarah from Aniboo's house in it, and I think she's superb. And I fancied having a look at it, and it's their 100th edition. And so they've got a lovely little collection of stuff to give away, including, which is all rose gold, including stitch markers and what have you. So I thought they looked very lovely. And this lovely little piece of cotton as a little trial. So I thought that was quite nice. And then, now this was completely Edinburgh inspired. How long have I been going on? I shall go a bit quicker. This is completely Edinburgh inspired. I am completely fangirling over Eden Cottage yarns. Quite a few podcasters that I watch or Instagrammers that I follow use Eden Cottage yarns, and it's just gorgeous stuff. And I've never seen it in person because I don't go to yarn festivals really, but I really fancy some. Now she has an amazing collection of yarns. I didn't get fancy skeins, but I really wanted some, and I wanted some 4-ply. So I got, brace yourself for just sheer loveliness. I got the Milburn 4-ply. Oh, look at that. And this is called Rain. It is such a most beautiful soft grey. It is 85% Blue Face Leicester, 15% silk. And this is a little 50-gram ball. Is it not just? Oh my lordy! I know. So I got 3. So I've got 150 grams of that. Just hold yourself. Hold yourself. I got 100 grams in that, which is Black Tulip. That's a really good representation. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh no, is that in there? I got 100 grams of estuary. Look at that! Again. And then, what I think is the most beautiful, this. Now it is, oh, look at that blue! It is called Night Sky. Well, 100 grams of that. So, I don't have anything in mind, particularly. I don't have like a pattern in mind, but I really want to do a, I don't know, I think I do want to do a shawl in this. Or just because there's, the Knitterarium has done Moon Garden. And she's done 2 shawls, Moon Garden and I can't remember the other name of the other one. Yeah, you see, I look at that and I just think, stop the clock. Stop it, everyone. Let's just go and knit this. Let's all three of us, let's all of us just go and sit somewhere and knit on this, because it is just gorgeousness. So I don't have it, so that's what I thought. I thought I will buy enough that I have options to do a lovely big shawl. I don't want DK weight, so I got 4-ply. But I've got enough that I can mix and match colours, and I've got options with my colours. You see, that's just gorgeous as well. You see, they're I just think the way she blends colours and what she, if you could look at this here, you would get as overwhelmed as I did. I opened it up. I was like, oh, the colours are even more beautiful in person. They are my kind of, I think my kind of desert island walls, really. Excuse me, I'm going to rustle and put them back in because they're too gorgeous to be left out, because some cat might find them and then that would crucify me. I won't crucify me, but it would upset me greatly if some 9-year-old boy or some cat got their little mitts on this. So let me put it back in the bag. Russell. I know somebody called Russell. In fact, I do know somebody called Russell. So there we go. That is my bag of sheer heavenly delight from Eden Cottage Yarns. It kind of almost overwhelmed me when I opened it up. Have you ever done that? We've opened up something and it's just so lovely and so gorgeous. It kind of overwhelms you and you just think, oh, I'm going to have to find something so magnificent to do this yarn justice. But I will. And it'll be gorgeous, and I will look back and I'll just think, this is going to be a heavenly thing. Anyway, pause for that. Last thing I want to show you. I received today. I was so pleased, and this is from Owl About Yarn. So, Owl About Yarn, which is, so I follow Pins and Needles UK. I watch her podcast and follow her on Instagram. Her name's Zoe. And she is coming out, she's starting as a pattern designer. And she was doing something called the Curses socks. And if I can find a picture, I will insert it here. So she just released the Curses socks. And one of her best friends is the dyer behind Owl About Yarn, who I can't remember her name. Can't remember. Anyway, and she was doing a kit with the pattern. So you get a free copy of it. So you get a copy of the pattern from Ravelry, get a code, which is here, which it's only going to apply to me. And then you got, because it's called Curses, because it's Harry Potter inspired, because it's got lightning bolts on. I thought I really want to have a go at that, and I want to support Zoe because Zoe's comes across as such a lovely lady. She lives in Barry Island in Wales, outside Cardiff, and she's just such a busy lady. And there she is designing socks as well on top of everything else, and it just amazes me. So I wanted to support her and buy her socks and have a go at them. And then you could choose which Hogwarts inspired house you are, and you could buy this kit and you would get all Hogwarts themed things as well, and the wool. And I'd forgotten what else I was getting. I remembered I was getting the pattern, a project bag, Harry Potter inspired project bag. Look at that, it's got a time turner on it, look, it's stitched on. So I've got my time turner, which if you're a Harry Potter fan, which I'm sure you are, you know all about. And then it's got this magnificent Harry Potter material on the bag. And I chose, red gives it away, Gryffindor. Not because I'm a Gryffindor, because I'm not a Gryffindor. But I live with two Gryffindors, i.e. the husband and Benedict. And the husband likes me to knit him socks. So I thought I would do him some Gryffindor curses socks. So I ordered, and it is the most magnificent red. It's coming across a bit orangey there, but it is just the truest of all reds. It's amazing. So this is Happy Owl sock, which is 75% BFL, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 425 metres. It is stunningly red. So that's what I remembered. I didn't know I was going to get this timed turner. So I can turn back time, find a way. Lots of songs. But I also got some stickers. I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. So I get some stickers, which I showed Benedict, and he was like, I like stickers. But yeah, so do I. I got all these stitch markers. I had no idea. They're just so many stitch markers. I can't show you all of them because but I got a hat, wizard's hat, sorting hat, and I got Deathly Hallows sign and a book and lovely gems and jewels, and I got a little lightning bolt and a school tie. Was that it? A school tie and something else as well, I'm sure of it. Oh, and a dragon. So I got myself a little Welsh dragon. So I got all of these, and if that wasn't enough, I mean, I paid for them, it was part of a kit, but I had completely forgotten I was getting and you think you're getting stitch markers, but you don't realise you're going to get quite so many. But I got this! It's almost as though she knew who I was. I mean, she doesn't know. She doesn't know that I'm a bookish person. Look. All you bookish people. It's a Harry Potter Hogwarts inspired bookmark. Done. I was so unbelievably chuffed when I received this today. So I got all of this in my Harry Potter Curses pack. I mean, that is just glorious, isn't it? I mean, the owl and the project bag alone. The yarn, I'm losing the will here. I mean, and the pattern. And then all this stuff as well. I mean, spoiled rotten. I am buying nothing else. I tell you what I don't need. I don't need any more stitch markers. Frankly, I need no more. I'm going to start wearing them. Somebody actually did say that they like my earrings. I've got my goddess earrings in today, which are the ones that I wear most days. And said, would I do a thing about my earrings? And I will have a look to see if I could do something like that, but I do have nice earrings. I love earrings. I could wear these. Rock them. Yes, I don't need stitch markers. I don't need wool. I need time. But I now have a time turner. So how fantastic is that? Look at that wool. So I have got so many goodies. I wanted to share them with you so that if you didn't go to Edinburgh and you were thinking, oh, rest assured there was somebody else that had the same experience. Went slightly overboard. Not going to be doing that considering we're moving. That's the end of that, I think. It's the end of us buying anything, especially as we're going to have to buy a new dryer. Oh, lordy. Anyway, so this nicely lets me lead on to little kind of chat. 5 minute, no, not even a 5 minute, couple of minutes chat as to what's been happening. So, yes, we found out we needed to move in February, and it was just grim. It really was. We were so like, oh, we don't want to move. We're only just settling here. And it's a really nice village and a really nice community. And we're in the pantomime and everything. And then we've got to move. And there's nothing round here, house-wise, that we could afford or anything. And I'm just like, oh, lordy, no. Because Cambridge there's a lot of biomedical and science companies are relocating to this area, and the more that come, the more it's becoming a kind of hub for that, which means that enormous companies, like a couple of years ago, a very large medical company and consultancy moved here, and they just took up all the houses. They were paying for people to relocate here, and they're just an enormous company, and all their employees came over, and suddenly house prices rocketed up. So we couldn't find anything, so we had to move. So we're moving further afield. We're actually moving closer to where the husband works, so that's good for him, and long term it will be good. We're just going through short-term pain, and having done it last year, it feels very painful. However, when we've come to look at it, we're living quite lightly in this house at the moment, so it's not going to be too much hard. You know, it's going to be easier than if you'd lived in a house for 20 years and you were moving, but it is still deeply painful. So that's what we've been going through. On the other side, we've been thoroughly enjoying kind of trying to enjoy the area, making a point of, we bought Benedict a new bike because he's got his birthday coming up, and we found out his current bike was too small. That's what happens when you're 9. Keep growing, coming up to 10. And so we bought him a new bike. So we went to Thetford Forest and we did a cycling day there so that he could play on his bike, and cycled around Cambridge, or did some cycling in Cambridge, which was really lovely over this last Easter weekend, even dodging the showers. Lordy, the weather. Oh, just ridiculous. I think everybody's having that, aren't they? It's just rubbish weather. We've had rain all week. That's okay because I'm packing. This weekend coming up, I'm out the whole weekend, but I'm getting to see just the most wonderful people in my circle of friends, in the circle of my tribe. So I'm getting to spend an entire weekend with them. I spend like 4 or 5 weekends a year, and the husband and Benedict don't come. It's just me, and it is glorious. It is glorious. It is much needed to spend time with these people, and so that's something that I'm looking forward to. It's unfortunate it's the weekend before we move, but it does mean that the husband will have an entire weekend that he can pack the things that he needs to pack. So it won't be too bad. And that's it really. I've been doing lots of reading. If you've been watching my booktube videos, you know I've been doing lots of reading. I've been doing lots of knitting, crochet. It's all been. It kind of, there are ups and downs as in life, and it's just, the down is not one we'd planned. But then, do you ever plan a down? I'm not sure you do. But we're handling it the best way that we can possibly do, which is by, I'm handling it by reading lots and knitting lots. But yeah, it's all good. Well, there we go. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. And I'm sorry if this is a bit long, but I did have lots to show you. Next time, I will be coming to you from a different room. Might look very much like this because it'll just have a different colour wall. But who knows? I might be able to work it so it looks better, she says. But we'll see. All right then, I hope you're well, and I hope you have good crafting, either good knitting or stitching. or crocheting, or whatever it is that you're doing whilst you're watching this. And I send my love to you. This has been lovely. Let's do it again.